Good morning. This video will help you get started with the Books Never Written worksheet, your homework for October 20th, 2015. Please start by creating this green practice page in your notebook. The first thing I'm going to do when I look at letter P is I'm going to create my line or two lines down the equal sign to remind myself about the balance I have to maintain. The rule we learned yesterday says that I need to start with the number that is farthest away from n. I see that I have a 3 that is right next to n, and I have a plus 8 that is over here. I'm going to begin by getting rid of the plus 8 because it is farther away from n. The way I get rid of a plus 8 is with a minus 8. A plus 8 and a minus 8 cancel one another out because they are opposites. And I've got 3n on the left and a math problem, 20 minus 8 on the right. 20 minus 8 is 12. Now I've got to focus on getting rid of this 3. I know that there is an invisible multiplication sign between the 3 and the n. In order to get rid of times 3, I've got to divide by 3. A times 3 and a divided by 3 cancel one another out. So I have successfully isolated n on the left. On the right side, I have created a division problem. 12 divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So my final answer is that n equals 4. I notice when I look at letter S that it's very similar to my first problem, letter P. I've got two numbers on the same side as D. I've got a times 2 and I've got a minus 9. The times 2 is right next to the D and the minus 9 is over here to the right. That means the minus 9 is farther away, and that's the number that I'll begin by getting rid of. To get rid of a minus 9, I do the opposite, which is plus 9. A minus 9 and a plus 9 are opposites, and they cancel one another out. So I'm left with 2d, or 2 times d, on the left, and an integer problem on the right. Negative 29 plus 9. Some of you may be able to do this math problem in your head and figure out that the answer is negative 20. Others of you might have to use a calculator. Now I take a look at what I've got left, and I know in my mind that 2d really means 2 times d, or d times 2. To get rid of times 2, I need to do the opposite, which is division. Times 2 and divided by 2 cancel one another out, and I've successfully isolated d on the left. Now I have another math problem on the right. Negative 20 divided by positive 2. I know that 20 divided by 2 is 10, and then I have to go back and say to myself, a negative 20 divided by a positive 2 means that I have a negative 10. My final answer is D equals negative 10. The last example we'll do together is letter N, the third problem on the sheet. I'll begin by making my lines, and I'll start taking a look at what I've got. On this side, I've got x divided by 2. Over here, I've got plus 7 off to the right. Because the x and the 2 look like they're kind of in the same house, x is upstairs and 2 is in the basement, and 7 is way over here to the right, I'm going to begin with the plus 7. The way I get rid of plus 7 is doing the opposite, minus 7, and I've got to do that on both sides to maintain my balance. Plus 7 and minus 7 cancel one another out. On the left, I've got x divided by 2. On the right side, I have a math problem, 11 minus 7. Well, that's not an integer problem, that's an old-fashioned subtraction problem. And I know the answer to 11 minus 7 is 4. Now, taking a look over here, x divided by 2, I must do the opposite to get rid of divided by 2. In order to do that, I'm going to multiply the left side by 2, but then I also need to multiply the right side by 2. When I multiply the left by 2, what I've done is canceled out my divided by 2 and isolated my x. On the right side, I've created a math problem, 4 times 2, which is equal to 8. My final answer is that x is equal to 8. Good luck finishing the worksheet. See you tomorrow.